Hey, greetings! Welcome back to Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf. Coming at you from the heart of the United States out here in the Midwest. And what I have for you today are 3 bottles of Hyde Irish Whiskey. 2 of them we've looked at before. One of them I just got in yesterday. So I haven't even tried it yet. We're going to try it together. I haven't done that in a little while, have we? I've kind of jumped the gun on a couple of them and tried them without you, but yeah, this one here we're going to try together. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick is, and I didn't mention this in the last video where we talked about Hyde whiskey, Hyde is not a distillery like you would traditionally think, where they distill their own spirits and then they bottle them and then they sell them. If you recall from the last video, when we talked about Powers made the decision back in the late 19th century to take their whiskey and bottle it themselves. Prior to that, remember, they were taking their whiskey and sending it to merchants and bonders to do the bottling for them. So Powers would distill the whiskey and then they'd send it off to be bottled somewhere else. And that allowed every merchant or every little bonding company to put their own mark on the whiskey. So, Powers completely did away with that. Powers said, we're bottling our own whiskey, no more of this, we're shipping the whiskey out. And that's pretty much how the Irish whiskey market turned. I mean, it's very odd to find an Irish whiskey distiller that doesn't distill their own whiskey. But that's what Hyde does. Hyde is a bonding company, a bonding distiller, if you will. They take whiskey that they carefully select from other distilleries, and then they finish the whiskey to their exacting standards. So if you go on Hyde's website, it's there plain as day. Their motto is, it's all about the wood. Yeah, it is. Hyde takes great care in selecting the wood that they're going to finish their Irish whiskey in. Right? So they select the whiskey, then they select the wood, and then what you have is their offering of Hyde Irish whiskey. Now, Hyde originally hit the market back in 1640. They went along, and then like many of the other Irish whiskey distilleries, they went out of business. The recession, the Anglo-Irish trade wars. It wasn't until 2015 that they were reintroduced with Hyde No. 1. And today, Hyde whiskey, you can find them, has 12 offerings and a 13th one that is a cask strength. It doesn't actually have a number on it like these do. It's just Hyde 8-year cask strength. Pretty sure it's 8 years. So, excuse me. Little bug there. So what we're going to do today is I want to try these 3. Like I said, we've already tried these 2, but we're going to put Hyde No. 7 in this as well and revisit the first 2. Some of what I've seen online, Hyde, it doesn't seem like it gets very high reviews. A lot of the ratings or reviews that I've seen typically don't put Hyde up there with some of the better rated Irish whiskeys. And I recall that when we tried these 2, I was a little ambivalent about it. It was okay. But let's revisit it and we'll try Hyde No. 7 as well. So let's start with Hyde No. 3. So Hyde No. 3, this is a single grain whiskey. So it's distilled in a column still. A coffee column still, if you will. It is aged for 6 years, and of course, they get the single grain whiskey from a single distillery, hence single grain, right? Remember from our previous discussions, single grain means it comes from a single distillery. So they get this brand new whiskey from a distillery, and then they go and they put it into flame charred, first fill ex-bourbon barrels straight from Kentucky. And they mature it for 6 years. So they take that single grain, they mature it for 6 years, then they bottle it, and you have Hyde number 3. Now, one of the things also to keep in mind, Hyde is named in honor of the first president of Ireland. He was inaugurated in 1938. If you, it's on the other bottle. Make sure, so if you forget your history class, Douglas Hyde, first president, inaugurated 28th of June, 1938. Right, so, and Hyde, the Hyde family, has been distilling whiskey for 12 or more generations. It's been in the family that long. So, they've got a lot of experience behind their whiskey. All right, so Hyde number 3, single grain, 6 years old, matured in Kentucky, flame charred bourbon barrels. Okay. All right, so a lot of that burn, that alcohol burn. I forgot to mention this is 46, so 92 proof. It's got a fair amount of alcohol burn, and I think I can taste a little bit of that, the flavor that comes out of those flame charred barrels. It's really not a bad whiskey. It may not be as good as, say, your Redbreast or Middleton Very Rare or something like that, but it's not a bad whiskey. I personally would cut it with a little bit of ice. I don't prefer that really strong alcohol burn, but that's not a bad whiskey. Yeah, you can take that. They also put the bottle number on the neck of every bottle. This is bottle 4259 out of 5,000, and it was bottled in July of 2016. So Hyde number 3. All right, over to Hyde number 6. What you're looking at here is a blend. You've got 18-year single malt whiskey and 8-year single grain whiskey. So they take those two, and that's why they call this a double wood whiskey, because they are taking this and first they're aging this single grain and single malt in American bourbon barrels. When they are about 9 months away from bottling, they then take the whiskey and put it into Spanish vintage toasted Oloroso sherry butts. So you get the toasted, the bourbon taste like you would get out of Hyde number 3, but now you're going to finish it in sherry butts. So, and between that process and the fact that it's an 18-year-old single malt blended with an 8-year single grain, kind of gives it its own unique flavor profile. This is bottle number 2158 out of 5,000, bottled in December of 2019. So, 18-year single malt. I mean, look on the shelf behind me. You've got 10-year single malt, 12-year single malt. Napogue Castle over there. You've got 16-year single malt. So here you've got 18-year single malt. Yeah, it's mixed with an 8-year single grain, but you can't deny it's still got 18-year single malt in there. So let's give this a try. Much smoother than number 3 in my opinion. Where number 3 definitely has that alcohol burn, not nearly as much in number 6, This is 46%, so it's 92 proof also. I did fail to mention that number 3, there's also a name on here, a little subtitle. Number 3 is called the Heiress Cask. Okay. Number 6, this is President's Reserve. So they put a name on each one, a little subtitle, I guess you would say. But anyway, back to the taste. So definitely, this is a smoother whiskey than number 3. You're not going to get the strong, in-your-face alcohol burn. Definitely can get the notes of the single malt in there working with, kind of paired up with the single grain. And I got the sweetness of the sherry. So again, for my palate, and remember, I have a blue collar palate, right? I cannot sit and tell you all the nuances of what you're, what do they say here? Full-bodied, malty aroma, nutty sweet vanilla, nutmeg, creamy, spicy oak tannins, sweet, lingering, smooth, buttery finish. I can't pick all that out. I'm sorry. There are other channels out there where if you really want to get into those fine, nuanced little flavors, that might be a better channel for you. For me, my blue collar palate, I can tell you it is sweeter than number 3. It finishes nicer. It is not as strong and in your face with the alcohol burn. So if I had my choice between the two, I would take number 6. I might not even necessarily have to cut it with a piece of ice. I usually do when I'm enjoying my cigar, but it's not necessarily a necessity with this one. So for what it's worth. All right, Hyde number 7. This is President's Cask. This is a strictly single malt Irish whiskey. This was aged for 6 years in toasted vintage Oloroso hogsheads. No bourbon. This is all strictly sherry. And of the 3, you might be able to tell in the bottle, I can definitely tell in the glass, that this is darker, the darkest of the 3. So this is, they don't tell you how many bottles were produced of this. They say it's a limited edition, but this is bottle 2254, and it was bottled in April of 2018. So, enough yapping. Let's try this 6-year single malt. All right, so right away, even before I sip it, the nose has that single malt sort of odor to it. Nose. As soon as you bring it up, you know it's going to be a single malt. The taste is also definitely a single malt. Again, not my flavor profile, not my blue collar palate. Is it better than some of the other single malts I've tried? Because, when I started this, I really had kind of a low regard for single malts, and I have changed a little bit. I'm starting to give a little bit more respect to single malts. This one, though, it just seems like it is just really kind of heavy on the malt taste. I think it's a fine whiskey. I think if you enjoy single malt whiskeys, you would probably enjoy this. Right? I picked this up for about $30. So for a 6-year-old single malt whiskey, it's not a bad price. I don't know what it goes for regularly. I think I got it at a bit of a discount. Your palate is going to be different than mine, and we've talked about that. It is, just to me, it's really got a strong malty taste. Let me see if they put on here at all First filled vintage bodega sherry casks. Yep, cut in small batches, non-chill filtered, well-rounded, complex. Yep. So they don't really give you any sort of precursor of what they expect you to taste. But again, it's not bad. I think of the three, I like this one the best, Hyde number 6. I think mostly because even though it's an 18-year single malt, it has a little bit of single grain in there, which tends to, balance out that single malt taste. It's smooth. This is very smooth. This is pretty smooth too. This number 3, man, it's definitely got a little alcohol burn. But I think of these three, Hyde number 6 is going to be my pick. Now, like I said, they have 13 different varieties out there, and that's it. So, as you can probably guess, my goal is to find a bottle of each. We'll see how long it takes and see if I can do it, and see if my wife divorces me in the process. But that's going to be the goal, have 1 through 12 plus the cask strength. We'll see how that goes. And as always, if you liked this video, take just a second, go down there and click on that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Those are the things that keep the YouTube algorithms happy, and it gets my video out to more people, shows them as a recommended video. Comment. I'm not getting a lot of comments. I know that I've got over 60 subscribers right now, which is way more than I ever thought I'd get. And I'm getting a really good number of watches, views, but I don't know what anybody's drinking. I'd love to know what you're drinking. Tell me what you like. Tell me your experiences. Have you had any of these 3 Hydes? Have you had any of the whiskeys back here? Let me know in the comments. You can leave a comment on the YouTube channel. You can leave a comment on Facebook, Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf. I'd love to hear from you. And I answer every comment. So as long as it's constructive. All right. No rotten tomatoes. That's for movies. All right. So until we meet again, which should be next week, I'd like you to be well and be safe. Enjoy your Irish whiskey, because my goodness, any reason to have a drop of Irish whiskey is a good reason. But you got to do it responsibly so you can be here next week, right? All right. Y'all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you then. Sláinte. Bye now.